This is our copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Yeah, it's an early one today. 10:18 a.m. on the West Coast. I finally compressed my intro here. We're still doing it with no audio. There's Bigfoot Bates, a little clip I snuck in. And yeah, so previously I hadn't compressed the video, so I guess it was chopping it. Wasn't showing the whole thing. And then the audio, I was using someone else's audio, which I had permission to. They get, I guess, whatever revenue, which isn't much at all, if any. I guess goes to them or whatever, but yeah, we're gonna figure that out. What up, Jonaside? Is your team playing today, bro? Are you gonna watch the game? There's Shelly. We're gonna hang out a little bit. Yeah, so normally I'd be getting ready. I'd be heading out on the road right now, headed to the shop. But I got a notification from Bro saying that we're gonna pop up here on the screen. Boom. What's up? Yeah, that we're not opening the shop today. Yeah, I guess we're getting together. We got invited to a little event, which we'll be attending. And I thought I'd hop on here for a little bit and hang out. It's going good. I actually got up hella early. I was awoken by partygoers, my nephew. So I've been up since. It was around 5 in the morning. I was like, geez, what's up? Yeah, appreciate that. Look at that. Thumbs up went up without me having to do it. That's weird. See, normally I think if you go like that, it works. I don't know why that popped up there, but I appreciate that. Telling you, this camera has a mind of its own. We named it 360. What up, 360? And there's Gemini Moon. Happy rising to you. Happy rising to everybody. Hopefully you're having a good Sunday. It's a nice one out here. It's a nice one. What's up, Daryl? So far, thank goodness. Normally, the past 2 weeks, I think I want to say, there's been construction on our roads here. They've been working the side roads now, and it's just been crazy. The Department of Water and Power, yes, they've been out there doing their thing, which made me think. What was it? Last week, I shared a video. My nephew possibly captured some weird anomaly right here on the street. Some of you may have seen the video. And yes, my nephew's doing well, and I appreciate everyone who commented asking about my nephew, how he was doing after that. Um, One thing that came to mind was that, and it was a weird, like shadowy type thing, right? Was that they were already doing the road construction, so they started busting up the street, and I believe that was already happening when that happened. And they only work during the day till about 4 p.m. And so normally we have to move our cars by 6:30 a.m. Gotta hopefully find parking somewhere. And let me tell you, Friday was a pain. No, yesterday was a pain. I had to park my rig way up the hill. So that sucked. And looking good. Welcome. Anyway, so that made me think maybe that possibly stirred something up. Maybe the road construction, them digging into the ground, because they've been digging in holes and putting in pipes and you name it. So that made me wonder, maybe that may have stirred something up on the ground there and made that apparition appear. Who knows? So yeah, we're gonna get into some Bigfoot news. I had already done a video. I did a pre-recorded video on this report. We'll read that off live, and it's actually up your way, Jonaside, out of the state of Washington, and we'll check that out. We'll reread it here live because it was a little weird when I read it there. I think some of the spelling there, so it made it kind of trippy on the video. Plus, the AI chopped it up. Yeah, I used it. What's up, Russell? How's the lovely Horn of Oregon? Yeah, so Sunday we made it, and yeah, the Super Bowl is going on. I don't follow, as you can see, Franklin behind us. Sorry, Mike, but we got Franklin behind us. You can see some of the background. We got a big old sofa behind me, so you can see a few items there. I got Granny's handmade ice dye shirt there under Franklin the football. And Franklin the football, we've been carrying it around because we heard that Bobo gifted a Nerf type football at a gifting station somewhere. So I was like, I had this handy. I'm like, all right, we're gonna carry this around too. So once we find a gifting site, and maybe if there's little ones, maybe the big ones will like it too. Is that paranormal Paul? What up, bro? Checking out your show last night. You did what, a couple hours? And we gotta keep an eye. We're gonna keep an eye on the time because I know STM starts at 11, and the HBH crew is gonna be on, so that's exciting. But yeah, so that's Franklin. We named the football Franklin because it's Franklin. What was it? Wilson. What was the name of that Tom Hanks movie? He had that volleyball. Wilson. It was someone will remember. Yeah, appreciate that hooking. That always helps. Why not? Boom. Our little effects are working right on. Send everybody some warm hearts. All right. Castaway. There you go, Russell. Thank you, bro. I was still downloading the file. Yeah, we seen that. I seen that in theaters. We were young, but we decided to watch that movie. And I'm sure there's a bunch of occult stuff. And we're gonna talk about briefly because I do get into the occult. I like checking out different people's breakdowns of things, of current events, secret societies, his story, her story, and let's see. So if everything is a simulation, says Russell, am I the simulation or am you? I missed. I don't know. I was kind of trying to read that. So is the simulation here? That's the part that keeps tripping me up. I think a little bit of misspelling there. Dagger spells. Much love to you. Hopefully you caught some of those hearts we threw out. We got more. Plenty to share. Oh, that's super cool, John P. I could actually see those emojis. So whatever you just did, and I think Jeff did that last time because I can't see the YouTube emojis, those special ones. Those get spelled out. And PNW Rush, what up? And I appreciate you checking in with Glenn about that. And no pressure, man. Whenever you do fade this show, whenever you recalibrate from that, we will set things up. Just wanted to get the okay from you. Aloha Urso. And yes, so we are off today from the shop. The shop is closed. Can you believe it? Normally we'd be closed tomorrow. So I'm thinking since we're off today, maybe bro's gonna be like, yeah, we're opening tomorrow. I know he's gonna show up. And I'll definitely show up on my normal day off since we're taking today off. And that is the address to the shop. People have been asking lately. Um, But yeah, we're close today. And while we're talking about the shop, we featured a recent speed chase. We get action outside of the shop quite a bit. Thank goodness. Well, sometimes it goes inside. We have that guy shirtless with the stick I explained about. I think that was Friday. Friday was a wild one. We had a couple speed chases that night, that day, or actually early in the morning, and then later that night we caught a live one. And we bring you some of this action at times when we document it, and sometimes others document it as well. And we like to bring it to you. So just a heads up. So Friday there was a show. So we have the Catalyst, our spot next door. It's a venue. Um, as of late, it's been a music venue, but when the music isn't happening, usually my brother, his lady, and there's a couple other friends of ours that have uh, silk screen. They make shirts, they press shirts, different things, clothing related. So that goes on there. And so the space is available for whatever. There's been different types of events, not music related as well, happening lately. I think someone shot like a commercial in there recently. It might have been the Cafe Nina, which is opening up next door. And I heard possibly through the grapevine, I don't know, that the Cafe Nina, which is next to our shop, coffee shop opening up, and you could find them if you're on the gram, Instagram at just Cafe Nina, Nina. It's pronounced Nina. It gets the ñ in Spanish, that little accent. Um, so yeah, check them out. And I think next week, possibly, maybe we'll give them a little more time. A couple weeks might be some sort of opening. So super excited about that. Yeah, congratulations to them. And hopefully, yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully that'll bring more business around for everyone. And yeah, coffee shop next to the smoke shop slash skate shop goes perfect. And then we showed the new hibachi place opening up, or it's actually open already, diagonally across from the shop, which used to be a taco spot. It is now a Japanese joint. So super cool. That's exciting as well. And you know what? Let me remember to pull up the monitor here. Again, STM is going to be on in half an hour. We shared that in the post. There's several other things we shared in the posts today. And hopefully you tap in there and check out, because I do like this channel to be a source for, not only Bigfoot news, anything going on Bigfoot related, other channels, which we're going to get into here in a bit also. Um, and I'm trying to pull up the live stream on the monitor. Where are you? There you are. And I could see the chat and all the stuff that I could see on YouTube. And last time we set a little goal, which is fun and no pressure. We're just playing with the different little features on the stream here. We're going to set a goal. Boom. Like that. And and anytime I'm doing some side stuff like that, y'all network, chop it up in the chat. What up, missing time 420? Cheers to you, Val. SWPA. Cheers. We're always cheering. I don't know what you're drinking. I'm having some coconut water right now. Still haven't had my other elixir that I've been doing regularly lately. It's a little detox thing. And then how will I celebrate? And we will get lit. All right. So we're setting a goal in the chat there. Again, no pressure. We're just getting used to some of these features. Oh, see, I tapped out of it. Dang it. 1 second. Boom. There it is. And what up, Digger Dog? Morning. Happy rising. Yeah, get out of the habit. I get it. I try to get out of the habit of saying good morning. I like happy rising. That's what we say in the dwarf household. But good morning works. Buenos dias. You're having water with fresh lemon. That's alkalizing. Very good, Val. Cheers to that. Um, so let's see, what were we saying? So yeah, activity out of the shop. Yeah, let's get into it. So Friday night we had so there was a punk show next door, and they've been pretty good. It hasn't been too bad. When I show up in the morning, I could see remnants of a few things, but it's not like a disaster. A lot of times, the crew usually cleans up after, and sometimes there's a few things I could tell at the shop that there was activity. So the shop stays open usually about the same time whenever the show ends. So a heads up on that. Um, so Friday they had the punk show, and so Saturday morning when I was pulling up right on Indiana and Olympic, I noticed in the middle of the intersection there was someone was doing donuts, and you could see all the tire marks all over the place. And I was like, something was going on here. And I started thinking, well, maybe the show got really crazy, but you never know. It's Olympic Boulevard, Los Angeles, East Los Angeles, middle right between Boyle Heights, East LA. So things happen around there. We've seen. And so I was like waiting to hear, something. And yeah, eventually my brother sent me some footage, and we'll have a look here. So I do not, this is our disclaimer, I do not condone this activity. And again, this wasn't tied to the punk show. So this was actually after my brother told me. I was like, so did you get to see so out here in LA, they got these things called, they're called street takeovers now. So back in the day, I remember people used to do the cruising. You fix up your ride, whatever it is, and you take it to the strip. Back in the day, I grew up in Hollywood, so for us, it was right up the block, Hollywood Boulevard, and it'd get jam packed. People from all over the city would come, and things would always happen. Choppers and cops, but cool cars and partying and all that stuff. A lot of times I even stayed away from it just because I lived right in the middle. People would come park on our street and everything. It was wild. I was into other things. But yeah, and then there's other areas. There's Crenshaw, and then there's Whittier Boulevard. So known places. But nowadays they're doing these street takeovers, which is a bunch of usually youngsters, and they'll have a car doing a bunch of donuts in the middle of the street, and there's a bunch of people surrounding it, and they get really close, and some people try to get really good footage. And let me tell you, you could already imagine the accidents. Yeah, people getting hit all the time, and it's not. I mean, I've never been to one. I don't go to these things. What up, Blazer, Pyromedic, Brandon, Tyga? What up? We got Kyle also. Yeah. Is everyone off today? Hopefully no one's working today. Again, the shop is closed today. And so yeah, my brother, yeah, was able to share an Instagram post. So heads up here. Here we go. Try to make this visible. Here, let's do this. Boom, like that. All right, we got it. And let me do one more thing. I'm trying to show myself on the screen there too. Maybe we can move this over here. All right, we're just gonna watch this without me on the screen there. Heads up. Let's see who's I'm trying to see whose page this is so they get their Yeah, I can't tell whose page it is yet. And maybe I'll tag them eventually or give them a shout later for letting us show this. But here we go. So this is 1/7/2026. Not tied to the show. And there's audio there, so we're gonna go ahead and cut that off. I mean music. So that's the hibachi place. That's Indiana and Olympic, two main streets. And this is what was going on. This is why I found a bunch of tire marks all over the place. Sheesh, right? I was like crossing my fingers, hoping that. So this is a street takeover. I don't know if they do these in your state or town, but it's like playing with the bull, right? Bullfighting almost. Or what do they call it? The bull when the clowns dress up and they're teasing the bull because there's a big old crowd of youth there. It looks like right in the middle of the circle. Of course, cameras. Everyone's got their phones out and yeah. So anyway, wild stuff going on there. Yep, the rascals. What's up, Dragonfly? That's what I'd call them. Yeah, thank goodness I didn't hear anyone getting hurt there, and it all worked out. And thank goodness it wasn't tied to the punk show. See, that's a whole other scene. So, yeah, quite a lively night there in the area. Hmm. Let me make sure that yeah, we're gonna talk the Super Bowl. Y'all getting ready for that? Y'all bought your expensive avocados and um what else? All that dip and I don't know what we're having. And it's kind of weird. We usually don't celebrate. Like it's not we're gonna celebrate. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure the Super Bowl is gonna be the theme at this event we're going to. It's a family gathering. How about that? I like that better. Uh, and here it is. Let's see. Super Bowl 2026. And I believe Jonocide is a Seahawk fan. Chicken wings, wangs and things. It says, I guess it starts in 4 hours and 47. Is that the actual countdown? I gotta get going soon then. Huh? We all gotta get going soon. We'll make this quick. Stay for the Bigfoot reports. Yeah, there's been breakdowns. I was mentioning the occult earlier, and there's a good channel that I've recommended before, and I'll recommend again. Is Donut Factory. Yeah, we are just talking about these are other donuts. And yeah, he did a breakdown 2 days ago already, and they were you could see in the thumbnail there the logo for the at the bottom left for the Super Bowl, and he does current events if you don't follow Donut already. And I used to check out some guys that used to do breakdowns and stuff like this, but more in like a pre-recorded video form way back in the day. And Donut is one of the few that I've known lately that to do that. There's a whole community of this, and some of the people he features on his channel are super on it. And another one was who Tyler. It's not is it Tyler or something like that? But let's see if I could pull up his channel, but it's like Durden. But I think that's the guy. Is that Fight Club related? It reminds me of a name like I think it was Fight Club, the movie or something like that. But anyway, Donut's breakdown was super interesting. He was getting into like the color coding of the logo of the Super Bowl and the emergency broadcast. You know how they put those bars? I don't know what they call those exactly, but those bars when they do the sometimes the tests and stuff. I haven't heard one of those in a long time. Emergency broadcast system. Do they have something like that for like since everyone's on like computers and phones and online now? I know they have Amber Alert. We get those on our phone, but I wonder if there's like some sort of because those emergency broadcasts were weird. Remember, they would play that weird tone, and I used to trip out on it. For us out here, it'd be for like earthquakes, and they would test it, and it's pretty weird, but always a good breakdown. So definitely recommend this. Um, for some because the halftime a lot of us I believe is a ritual, and they're going to be having who Bad Bunny, right? Who I heard is injured at the moment. Yeah, Bad Bunny injured, folks. And I just heard that. I don't know, that might be breaking news. I don't know. It's breaking news for me, and I don't follow him either, so I'm sure him being chosen, and they talk about like I think Jay-Z is the one who gets to choose these artists who get to do the halftime. I heard recently as well. I don't know if it's true, but pretty interesting. And also some other news related. They were supposed to do the Artemis launch, right? Where they headed to the moon. What was going on here? But anyway, that was supposed to happen, I believe, the same time as the Super Bowl, right? Today. But I also heard that there had been a some sort of switch in the schedule. There says the Artemis 2 launch date has been delayed and is now targeted for March 2026, with the earliest possible launch window opening on March 6th. And then it says NASA encountered liquid hydrogen leak and other technical issues. Additional launch opportunities are available from March 6th through the 9th and March 11th, which back up dates extending into April if needed. The mission launched from Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39B in Florida. Amanda, happy rising to you. Yeah, it's still AM here. Yeah, so interesting. I found that interesting, and I'm sure those launch dates they got aligned with other things that probably we're not told about. And yeah, I found that interesting. So they switched it up. And what's the date today again? Anything special about it? Now I'm trying to pull up this thing on the bunny dude, and it's interesting. It's the bunny. It's like they're gonna take us down the rabbit hole with all this, right? We're already in it. Further down the rabbit hole where more dust bunnies are found. And so here it is. Let's see. We'll have a quick little read here also. It says Bad Bunny suffered a knee injury during his final performance at his 30-day No Me Quiero Ir de Aquí residency in San Juan, Puerto Rico on September 5th, 2025. Wait. Okay, so this is old. Where's the new stuff? But anyway, they said here he was doing the bunny hop. So is that what happened again today? I'm trying to see where was that article. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty weird. I probably won't even watch it, but yeah, we'll bring that up. I'm sure someone will bring it up somewhere that he is hurt. But they say the performance is still gonna happen somehow. Hmm. All right, so let's get into some of this Bigfoot stuff. So earlier today, or earlier this morning, earlier this AM, I seen Mike Wanders. Y'all follow Mike Wanders on YouTube if you're into Bigfoot. And he not only does Bigfoot, he does hikes, but he gets into these places, does solo hikes, solo camping, and he is the man. There you go. Halftime show featuring Broken Bunny, says Blazer. What up, brother Blazer? Glad you're here, man. Let's see. So we're gonna pull up yeah, Mike Wanders. I did share that in the post also. He just posted a video, one of his documentaries, and it's Bigfoot related. And he's out in the Olympics of Washington, which is quite convenient also because we're going to be heading up to Washington right now with the reports. So, and it's just amazing that he does that. You know, solo is a whole other level of stuff. I've never, I mean, usually I'm out with people when I go bigfooting and stuff like that, which is cool. But there's been moments. I remember one time pulling into Bluff Creek and was supposed to meet some people, and there was no one there. I hung around for a while, and I just started getting vibes, and I was like, it started getting dark too, and I was like, man, where is everyone at? And yeah, something told me to go, so I went. And I don't know if I went all the way back to town, where the hell I went, but I went and I finally got a hold of someone. All right, Blazer sharing a link there. Boom. So yeah, I made a little pre-recorded video. Let's see, I was gonna pull up some of these channels, but we'll do that in a sec. Let's just go ahead and read this report out of Washington. So some of you may have checked this out already on the vid, and it was kind of a little weird because some of the spelling. And it's right along the border of Idaho there. We'll drop the man a bit. And border of Canada as well. It's not too far, it seems. So the Colville National Forest. And I seen on the video, brother PNW Rush in the chat dropped a comment saying that was some other Bigfooters area. So it was interesting that he shared that. And I don't remember the name off the top of my head. But there's a few. You can see some other reports down here. There's a red squatch, a couple yellow ones there, and big body. That might be. Is there? That's a massive lake. You could tell that, but not quite sure the name. Let's see if it pops up. But you got the Colville National Forest there, and so I noticed on this side of the national forest, there's some reports, and on this side there's quite a bit too. And so this one here says, which is the latest report submitted here, 8/8/25, 5:15, and they said it was an 8-footer. And it says Curtis saw 8 feet standing behind a bush next to Will's camp at twilight. Recreation was 2 feet taller, and I don't know what they mean by that. That's why the video sounded weird. 2 feet taller than me at 6'4", found 15-inch track in swamp. See pictures 60-inch step length. And then he puts out his Instagram there and Facebook, which is see evidence on Squatch Docs. I don't think I know Squatch Docs on Instagram and Facebook. So I guess there's pictures and stuff. It says tan colored. It's very choppy on the way the report was submitted, but hey, got to the point. Um, of course, so I was like, well, what else is around here? And this is like a big space here. So, but I'm still kind of looking at it as a general area. And I believe the county here, it's the Trippy County of Washington. Maybe some of you know where it is already, but I had to look into it a little bit. And it was hard to pronounce as well. There's a certain way you pronounce it. So forgive me if I do not pronounce it correctly, but it's was it Pondorel? Something like that, Washington. But so jumping over to the Bigfoot mapping, BFRO, I took a look in here to see if there's any reports from that county. And sure enough, there's quite a bit. I think there was 11 that I had seen. And so we're going to head on over to Washington right quick down here. Boom. And there, so how do you pronounce that? It's Pendorel, I think is how, and I think one of these reports actually showed how you pronounce it. But I looked into the county, and there were a couple actually reports from that area. Here you have a hiker has daytime sighting in Colville National Forest, which is that forest we're just mentioning there. Sullivan Lake, I seen on the map that popped up there. Woman kayaking with family at Sullivan Lake sees Bigfoot. Looks like a very interesting report there. Also, I think some of these 90s reports down here. We click really quick. Let's see. Yep. Ooh. So I did scan briefly. So here it is. The name of the county was penned, and you would think like Oriel or something, but pronounced Pondo Ray. Got it now. Thank you. So Pondo Ray. And the closest town was, so this is another one we got to learn to pronounce, Ione, because I seen that pop up on some other reports. And right here it mentions the Colville National Forest. Very interesting. Let's see. Let me hop back over here right quick. Drop this a little more, see if anything else pops up as far as like landmarks. It looks like pretty much almost on like on a ridge top. Oh yeah, there was this opening. So you have Sullivan Creek Road there. And there's this opening right where the report seems to be coming out of. I don't know what that is. Some sort of clearing there, and it looks like a road comes into there, and there's also another little, looks like a dirt road there. I don't know if those are a couple vehicles, looks like possibly parked there. I don't know what that is. And then we could have a look at it through, let's see, over at Bigfoot Society's map, because I wanted to see if there was other reports from his database. And there's actually, so over on this side of the national forest, which we're looking at and seeing a few reports on that side, but up in here there is And that's where uh, the Bigfoot Mapping Project report is out of, is more on this side of things, and you could see several reports there. So let's see, Sullivan Creek. Let's check this out. All right, Sullivan Lake, Washington. Description: Sullivan Lake Creek near Sullivan Lake. Vocalizations, including owl like hoots and whoops, were heard at night from across the creek in a pattern suggesting potential communication. And there's Gypsy Meadows. What does that ring a bell? And you could check out these reports. I'm sure they're in video form over on Bigfoot Society, probably on their YouTube. And here's Sullivan Lake, Washington. Description: Sullivan Creek near Sullivan Lake. Witness states multiple vocalization. Oh, we just read that. Let's check this one out. That one's pretty long. That's the Gypsy Meadows. Let's see, Monumental Mountain. Orrin Rice Road, base of Monumental Mountain, Stevens County. All right, this is a different county there. And hopping over really quick. So it is 11. STM is on, folks. If you want to check out some Bigfoot documentary action, maybe someone will post a link in the chat. We will probably be wrapping this up momentarily. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of clear up that first Bigfoot Mapping Project report, because when I read it, it was kind of weird. And so I wanted to recap it. And actually, here is Bigfoot Encounters and Washington State, Colville. And so this is on the opposite side from the reports we were just focusing on from that national forest there. It says Colville, Washington, Colville Lake Indian Reservation. I grew up on the Colville Indian Reservation in eastern Washington State and heard many reports and stories growing up of the wild man of the forest, as the Native American elders referred to him. And it's interesting they always referred to it as a him, although we know there's male, female, little ones, or at least I believe. I'm very interested in a Bigfoot expedition. I would really appreciate it if I was contacted. So not quite a report, but I guess someone interested in that area. And hopping over really quick to what is it? Bigfoot report database, which seems to be more of an AI, like picks up reports. You just punch into the search bar some keywords and it'll pull stuff up, I guess, from the internet, or pull up as much stuff as it could from the internet. And I was able to find one from Ponderay or Pendoray, Washington. It's a tough one. Gonna have to remember that. But you could see there, and we won't get into the whole report. It says Igor Bev. I don't know who that is. And investigators experienced possible Bigfoot activity near Seville, Washington. And on the headline here, it says, on an unspecified date, the narrator wrote, who conducts Bigfoot investigations, teamed up with Igor Bev, a Russian. Oh, yes. I have heard of him. I think he's passed on now. And I wasn't sure. I heard last night on Jessica's show, I think they had, was it Mike Cook? I forget the dude's name. Interesting Bigfooter, interesting show. He was mentioning about Tom Cantrell, which I believe, I thought I had seen some posts that he had transitioned and transitioned on. And But the guest last night was saying that he was in the process of, so I'm not quite clear now. So, and I was already, had sent condolences and stuff. So, anyway, and hopefully, if he hasn't yet and he's holding on, we're sending him good vibes. Um, good healing vibes. But also, if someone's at that point too, you want to give them the vibes to follow through with that transition if it's time as well. So, yeah, life. So let's see. So the researcher, Igor Bev, Russian researcher, for an adventure to explore reported Bigfoot activity in the region north of Seville, Washington, near the Canadian border. And it says County Penderay there. So interesting. And of course, there's just so many for Washington here, as you would expect. And hopping over really quick to the cryptid, this, we've been checking out this map that Jeff showed us, and it's got other cryptid related stuff. So I took a look. I didn't see anything really. And I know Juliana wants me to read more Dogman reports off this. And I talked to Kenny Starfox the other night, checking in. He was actually checking in with me. Appreciate that, brother. And I told him about this map. So maybe he'll be checking that out as well. And so I clicked this guy over here. It's on the other side. It's on the Idaho side of things. But it's funny. It said title paddler type aquatic reptile slash mammal. So I would imagine some sort of lake monster or something like that. But it says location Lake Pendo Ray. So I wonder, there's a Lake Pendo Ray over there too. And I just thought I'd mention that since we're on the Pendo Ray trip here. Anyway, so I still got things lined up. I want to continue from when we had that Oregon report. We're bringing up Dr. Matthew Johnson and his encounter with some sort of portal. I think it's Soha, the location, Southern Oregon, near the Oregon caves. And that was kind of, sorry, Mike. That was kind of leading me down a whole thing because there were supposedly these little Ewok type furry creatures. And let's see, what's Digger Dog saying? What's up, Thin Lizzy? Everyone watching the Super Bowl. Yesterday I seen Brother Testerman. Salute to you, sir. Was on live earlier. He's probably still live right now. I'm not sure, and he's a Mason. He was mentioning, and I've heard him mention that before. So, and we're talking about, I think, some of the games and different games, and I've been learning, that a lot of the games that we play here in the States and even in other countries were made up by Freemasons, like baseball. I think basketball is another one, football, right? And I'm sure there's a bunch of occult stuff behind, and then even the teams, different teams. I know Bigfoot Anon is big on breaking down like the different cryptids and different things, like even giants related to different sports teams and stuff like that. So it gets, it's all connected. We bring it together as much as possible. Yeah, really interesting stuff. Let's see really quick. Boom. Let's stop sharing this. Thank you. Yeah, so heads up for the ritual later today. And so I still have things lined up for that whole show because it led me down these little beings, these not little beans, little beings. And they made me think of a case in Caracas, Venezuela, about these, which was a year before the Hopkinsville Goblins case. So we'll get into that. And so we're talking about Mike Wanders. And don't forget, STM is on, folks. We're going to jump over there. Actually, we're going to pull them up on the phone. Forgot I was going to do that. So Mike Wanders, his video, I recommend it. Maybe someone will post a link in the chat. Uh, did the Olympics part, particular part of the Olympics, a Squatchy part he was recommended, probably by the Olympic Project, and I did a solo. Was out there by himself in Squatch land and doing his thing, trying to find out what's going on. And he did mention some trippy dreams. And I would like to know more about the dreams. He didn't say it was anything Bigfoot related. He just mentioned he had some weird dreams. He didn't describe them. But I wonder, there's Juliana. What up, homie? You watching the Super Bowl later today? We're getting into that. Watch out with that bunny at halftime. Make sure y'all bless yourselves, protect yourselves, and filter out what doesn't work for you. And so he got me on this whole dream thing, and then he found a few little interesting structures, and I like the way he goes about it. He wasn't like, oh, this is Bigfoot. He's not even a structure guy, whatever, but he showed it. And he got into the dreams, which I thought was fascinating. I've shared some stuff even recently with Bigfoot Fades about the time Bluff Creek, Laird Meadow. I was sleeping in the front of my truck, a bunch of other investigators there. And I thought I was dreaming. At least it felt, I thought I'm going to go with it was real, but it was in that in between state. And something started pushing down in the front of my bumper. Something also told me not to open my eyes, not to look out. And it was the weirdest thing. It felt hella real. That's why I think it was. But and he explains that, and it was trippy. And I think there's something to that, and Bigfoot, and of course other uh, things like paranormal related. Could tap into dreams and stuff like that. Very, very fascinating stuff, I think, dreams. And especially when it comes to Bigfoot. I've had some squatchy dreams before. I remember one going back to my childhood. A lot of my dreams would go back there. This is Hollywood. And this huge Bigfoot was like rampaging through our neighborhood and was kind of chasing us. I think my brother was in it. And we were like hiding and like pretty terrified. And it was like doing things like you wouldn't imagine, like jumping in the air super high and but a lot of my dreams end up in my childhood and stuff like that. So I pulled up a few things. There's actually quite a few things online that you could find pertaining to Bigfoot and dreams, and I found a few interesting things. But uh greeting, Sharon, and there's Gerald. What up, Gerald? Hope you're having a good day. There's Testerman. What's up, brother? I was just mentioning you. And I want to say much respect. Mushira, cheers to you. Yeah, much respect. You're mentioning about your membership. I will say it like that. But yeah, you being a Mason, and I made that comment about the Masons starting certain games and stuff like that. But yeah, I believe that there is good and bad Masons. That's why uh the checkerboard floor comes up, the black, white, the duality. So you're gonna have, and it's in everything, you know. So yeah, no, I don't have a problem with Masons and stuff like that. I'm all about, yeah, kicking knowledge and learning. And so I'm all ears. Yeah, much respect, bro. And yeah, thank you for hanging out. I seen you were live earlier, and I was about to go live, but I was like, you know what, Brother Testament is live. Let's not interrupt. And I seen Izzy Pop. I know she gets down with the graphics and all that. She was live earlier. I didn't want to interrupt her either. I don't know. I try not to go live when others are live. But anyway, let's see. In a new spot near Marble Mountain Wilderness. Uh-oh. Someone got assaulted about zero point 0.7 miles from here. Citizens app report there. So Juliana was just saying, and Brother Nighthawk, salute to you. And I seen that comment there. Yeah, the Marble Mountains Wilderness had a funny dream. All right, let's see here. I want to get back to that comment.
had a funny dream. I could see a silhouette, a whole family at dusk, and it was like they were saying hi. Whoa. This is Juliana sharing this. That's our gal there from NorCal. Um, so you seen the whole family at dusk, and it was like, darn it, scrolled again. It was like they were saying hi. When I woke up, I said, "Morning, homies." Yeah, that's what's up. I love that attitude, Juliana. That is rad. Yeah, I've had some other weird Bigfoot dreams too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but hey, share your dream. We want to hear about it. Maybe you could share in the chat, or you'd like to come up and share some time. We could do that. What's up, David? Um, so I did want to bring up, we're gonna do Mike Wander's channel. I gotta show you guys because what started me on this whole dream trip. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull this up. And he's been doing live Q&As on his channel too. And there it is. Let's see. Let's head back over here. Again, we're pulling up STM. So we're not missing out over there either. Don't want to be rude. Yeah, we'll be done here soon. So there it is. Yeah, in case you're wondering, STM, Small Town Monsters. They got a documentary on right now, folks. So check that out if you want to get a dose of your more Bigfoot. And it's a good one. So let's see, Mike Wanders, we got your channel, brother. And we've been officially linked. Yeah, we got each other's number. And we did a little chat, kind of get to know each other right quick. And there you are. Oh no, wrong one. We'll do this. There you are. Boom. So y'all go over, subscribe, and y'all know what else to do over there. But Mike, can't wait to meet him. Hopefully one day. I think he was supposed to be at Bluff Creek. And you can see 4 hours ago. This is the documentary we're talking about. And check it out. Fascinating. So there was a forum I had brought up a while back, a couple of weeks ago. It was a Bigfoot forum, and I had asked about like, does anyone jump on there? And I was briefly going through it. There's a lot of stuff on there, and so I'll be tapping into it more. But I did find something pertaining to the dreams and Bigfoot that someone posted there, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is interesting." And now I'm not gonna. I wanted to read the whole thing, but like I said, we're gonna wrap this up. But and maybe we'll get back into it. But this guy had a Sasquatch related dream, and he was like sharing it on here, and he's like, "Anyone else, please post your dreams that are Sasquatch related." And yeah, he titled it, "Have any of you ever dreamed about Bigfoot before?" And I'll just read really quick. So the topic might seem random, but I had a pretty disturbing Bigfoot dream last night and wanted to know if anyone else ever had on this site. If so, please share them. This is the first time I remember dreaming about Bigfoot myself, and someone I didn't know were standing in a room with a large computer screen and keyboard, and it goes on. And let's see, there was something else right here. I don't know what this is. So Dream Mean had a dream interpretation from 3 unique sources about Bigfoot. And it says here, the dream of the mythical Bigfoot may represent a person or situation in your life that offers warm companionship. Yet is a dangerous threat to your well being. Wow. If you dreamed about a mountain dwelling Bigfoot, you will need to be strong to get through a tough social or emotional ordeal. And the third one, let's see, I think this, yeah. If the creature you saw dwelled in the forest, follow your instincts to keep certain things to yourself. Hmm. This is an important time to protect your privacy. Also, be careful of giving in to irrational urges that go against what's best for you. Symbolic of a large problem in your life, like depression or anger. And there's a few other things down here. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Thought I'd share that. Again, we'll dive deeper into all this stuff. We'll bring up the whole little hairy beings and little aliens on the next one as well. And Willem Nighthawk says, I am Bigfoot. Hear me roar. Sweet dreams. And we got the milkman in the house stepping in hot. What up, Jeff? Yeah, so hopefully y'all have a safe Super Bowl if you're going to partake in that. Hopefully your team wins. I'm not choosing any sides. And hopefully you have some good healthy food, some good healthy fun. And we'll tap back in soon. Yeah, I was glad I was able to tap in early. Say what's up again. The smoke shop, skate shop is closed today, folks. Heads up. And we might be open on our usual day off tomorrow. Yep. All right. So we're gonna, yeah, I guess it's rolled and ready to go. Y'all stay blessed. Let's see. We're gonna hit our outro here. And I know I'm gonna kick myself for forgetting something, but it's all good. Hopefully there's next time. And there it is.